All right, looks like we're live. Here we are. It is Tuesday, December 18th, and we are live with another Florida Blood Bowl AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything. And this is James over in Vieira, Melbourne, on the east coast of Florida. And with me so far, I have Jason York from the Jacksonville area. Say hi.
Hello.
All right. All right, so let me close this down, and then I can get on my merry way. Hopefully, we don't lose anything. Really shouldn't. And then everything should be good. And at some point, we're going to have Ryan from over in Tampa join us, and Old Man Monkey, Mr. Jim Lanier. He'll be with us as well, I believe. All right, shutting computer down. This computer, anyway, laptop computer. And now we can hop in the car and start driving home. Don't ask me why. Let's just all agree that. So, I'm just going to ramble on. Jason, feel free to interject whenever you want to. But let's start with we closed out our NAF tournament series, the Voodoo Tournament Series. Surprisingly, I think there's still a few people out there who don't know what it is, but the NAF has, in addition to, the tournament area, so ours covers several states, including Florida. And we just wrapped up 2018 with a nice little award ceremony. We had a party up in Gainesville, or as they call it, Gaines Vegas, which is kind of funny. I like it. And that was a great party. We had a tournament there, which was the Dunwich Horror. What else did we have? The award ceremony, obviously. We'll talk about that.
We planned on doing some Rat Ogre Bowl and Death Roller races, but we actually didn't get a chance to. Or at least we didn't get a chance to while I was there.
No, yeah, we did not end up partaking in that. So, it's not a party unless it's a Florida party, and the Florida party doesn't stop until somebody goes to the hospital. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. So yeah, we played for a while, and then somebody went for an ambulance ride, and that was that. So I think we're gonna.
Was it an ambulance ride? It wasn't brought to the hospital?
I don't know. Like, it could have been an ambulance ride. I'm not sure who would have brought him to the hospital.
Man, now that's how you end a great year of Blood Bowl. I don't know how we're topping that this next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we want to try to top that next year. That's a whole lot of things to try and top there.
Hello.
Hey, man. So Ryan just jumped on the call. So we got Ryan with us and Jason. I'm fighting with my seatbelt. And I can't get it out of my seatbelt, my headphones. That sucks. I'm actually driving while I'm doing this because I had to drive all the way out to Lake Mary. Actually, I met Francis out here and gave him Paul's best defense award. And so that was cool. So I got to say hi to him.
Yeah, I think that was one of the surprises of the awards.
Oh yeah, he was surprised. He had no idea. He was like, "What?" We had a couple people like that. Skylar Smith, right? I believe his last name is. He won. He won most casualties, and he was gobsmacked, as the saying goes. And what worked out in his favor, I mean, the big contention I think was between him and Jason Carter, aka Dr. Voorhees Carnivian. And I think what ended up going into Sky's favor was he played in less events, so his average was a lot better. Whereas Jason played in so many events, and then in the second half of the tournament series, I think he really kind of just went, you know what? Zero fucks given. I'm just gonna destroy everything I can, and he did. And he like racked up casualties upon casualties upon. I think he had 20 in the one tournament alone. He was basically turning into Doombeard Dave's little brother.
Yeah, I think it was the Death Bowl that he racked up a crap ton of casualties.
He did, yeah.
Which, by the way, if anyone has not seen Jason's poem, you need to go find that on the Florida Blood Bowl page. That was fantastic.
That was epic. And totally, I didn't know he was going to do that. Like, he didn't say, oh, man, I've been working on this thing. I'm going to do this thing. He never said that. So when he started going into it, he's like, I think he said, I hope somebody films this, and I pulled out my camera and started filming it, and it was epic.
I think Josh also filmed it from the front.
Oh, he got full frontal?
He got full frontal on the video. But man, I mean, I was very impressed. I bet you that took forever to come up with.
I bet it did too.
I think that was his last line.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck all y'all. It took me however long to write this shit. It was good though. It was so spot on.
Yeah. Next year. Oh yeah. I'm not that up.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up either for a second. But we're going to have to I'll link that on the AMA page for those who haven't seen it, but by now, I'm sure a lot of people have. So, yeah, John Alberto won that tournament, and everybody had fun. There was a lot of alcohol involved. There may have been some adult entertainment. I heard rumors. I can't confirm nor deny. There was food. There was Blood Bowl galore.
The food was good.
The food was really good, actually. I need that recipe for a potluck later in the week. So you gotta. I know you told me what it is, and I know it's simple, but.
Oh yeah, the salsa chicken.
Yeah, that was delicious. Ugh,
yeah, I was
so
eating
good.
Crap out of the sausage that you brought and the cheesy potatoes that Josh did. And
yeah, all my sausage was gone. Everybody had it in their mouth.
Yep.
Boom, boom. Everybody loved it. Howard's sausage braid went too. That was delicious. I was devouring that. So yeah, Ryan, Jason, you and I were there. Ryan couldn't make it. So yeah, so you're kind of getting firsthand. I know you heard a lot of the details anyway, but now you're getting even more details.
Yeah, I got a little blow by blow. I was watching throughout the day on the feed, and you were keeping me up to date too on some things.
I did terrible. I faced off against Chris in round 1 with my pro elves, and he was wood elves, and he really thought it was going to go my way. And just to sum it up, I will sum it up by saying this: my first dice rolls were a 1, a 1, a 1, and then double skulls. And I said, "Fuck this!" And then the dice that I was using, I mean, they were Chris's anyway. I bought him a set of the undead dice, and I think the dice heard me say that, and they were like, "Fuck this guy! These dice belong to him," and they just would not cooperate with me whatsoever. And I just boxed them back up and said, "Here you go. I don't want them." And then I borrowed dice for the rest of the day. Round 2, I played Nick Blackey's Dark Elves, and I squeaked out a 1-0 win. I voted for him as my favorite match because it came down to the wire at almost every point. And then I got beat up by Ken Parks, his Skaven. I just could not. Skaven are like my bane, my nemesis. And I had a lot of fun though playing with the Dunwich Horror, which was a set piece that Jason put into the rules where the beastie. If it comes in it moves randomly about the pitch, the 7th pitch, and if it comes into contact with one of your players, it will throw that player literally 2d6 potentially off the pitch. So I had fun. I thought it was cool. Jason, who did you end up playing that day?
My round 1 was against Eric. It was a great battle in the first half. The horror did absolutely nothing to us. It wanted no part of us. It kept wandering to the other corner of the pitch. Second half started out with me screwing up 4 straight pickup attempts with a guy with sure hands. And,
were you playing in rain? Or just
nope.
Regular blood? Wow.
Nope, just rolled 4 straight 2s. And Eric got the ball and scored, and then I was able to tie it up towards the end. But, I mean, the horror did absolutely nothing to us at all, in the slightest. Game 2 was against Cody. And I was really excited for this matchup because I've never played Cody, and he was bringing vampires. I knew he was a great vampire coach, and I like vampires. I think I'm semi-decent. But I know Cody's really, really good with vampires. I'm like, all right, this is going to be a fantastic match. It was, for me. The dice decided they were going to crap on him, and crap on him they did. Nothing went his way. The horror decided they wanted to throw all his players around, threw some of my players into him. Won that 1-2-0, and honestly, it was not because I played great. It's because the dice just hated him. Absolutely freaking hated him. And then I didn't get a chance to play my third match because I unfortunately had to leave.
Yeah, Jason.
So I know Jason filled in.
Yeah, he filled in, and I want to say he won that match, but I'm not entirely sure. Because I know he didn't come in last place overall. I just submitted the event to the NAF today, and I want to say Nick Blackie might have came in last place, but
well, that means the J&J connection went 2 wins and a tie. I'll take it.
Yeah, either way, I had fun, and I was happy. Jason put together a last-minute trophy, Allen Mann in his memory. It was like a sportsmanship trophy, and I got voted on for. I guess I was the favorite match of the day. Whoever played me. So, for those who took away a win, you're welcome. But I was happy to win that trophy. It was a very actually we got compliments on our trophies from I want to say it was Brandon Alderman. He saw the post and he's like, "Hey, where did you guys get those trophies?" And TrophyKits.com is where we got them. We kind of mix it up. I've gotten trophies from Trophy Kits. I've gotten trophies from Armada Games. I've gotten trophies from Jack at Maelstrom. I've gotten trophies from a lot of different places. But yeah, they were nice. They turned out really nice. The inserts that they do, the custom inserts that we can supply our own art, really make those trophies the best, I think. And stupid me, when I did my first tournament down here, not my first tournament, but it wasn't my first one, but it was the first Hooky Bowl that I ran down here. The whatchamacallit, the They Live one, which is still one of my favorites. I don't understand. I bought my trophies from Trophy Kits, and I guess just maybe being in a rush, I didn't understand that they did the inserts and that they would be professionally done and sized. So like a dummy, I went and printed out like my own inserts and then had to cut them out that morning before the tournament and try and put them on myself. I apologize to anybody who won a trophy from that tournament because they look like a third grader did them. No offense. That's an insult to a third grader, actually.
I've got one and I like it a lot.
Well, I'm glad you do because I felt like when I was putting them together, I'm like, oh man, I really.
I got the Trump one.
Oh yeah, the artwork looked great. They were all in the same vein as the aliens in the They Live. There's an artist out there does like pop culture paintings and stuff like that, and he did They Live renderings of like all pop culture figures like Donald Trump, the Kardashians, Miley Cyrus, and Justin Bieber. And I utilize those for the trophies. And ideally, the concept was cool, but my execution of putting those on there was like, nah.
I don't know. Looks good to me. I'm looking at it right now. Looks great.
I'm gonna mention just like one more really cool thing about the Voodoo tournament, because I can't remember. I mean, I can kind of rattle off who won what. Chris Nelson took home the top place, first place, Florida man. He won the whole kit and caboodle. And by points, I want to say second place should have or could have went to Josh, but he ended up with the Stunty, which I feel like is the better award.
For him, at least.
For him. I feel like it's a lot harder
I know.
win that award than it is.
But especially for him.
Yeah,
he's for that.
He's Captain Joe Stunty, and he won Chaos Cup Stunty with Ogres, for God's sake, and didn't lose a single match. He had wins and draws, no losses. I mean, that's not easily. That's not. Yeah, that's tough.
That gets accolades.
Accolades for sure, all the way home. That should get accolades. So then that put Jason. You got third place overall.
I did, yes.
Yeah, and then don't ask me to try and remember the rest of them. I know Howard got best new player for 2018 because he kind of came in past the halfway point, and he ended up ranking in the top 10, and he won several tournaments. I mean, he really came in and just like the Popo, came in, took names, kicked ass, chewed a lot of bubble gum, had a taser or two. He really kind of just crushed it.
Yeah. No, he was killing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like we had some funny ones. Had like best losing or record, worst luck. That went to Ken Parks, which I felt like I should have got. But yeah, Ken does have pretty bad luck.
That one was pretty close. There was a lot of different people that got it. Ken won by like a vote, and it was within one vote for maybe 2 or 3 people.
And Chris Nelson, aka Mr. Florida Man, his favorite award was the funny one, which was Florida Man versus all of Florida.
Yeah.
Because I thought, man, there were so many. I thought for sure it'd be him and John Alberto's best rivalry. But then tell me how the voting kind of went.
The voting went like best rivalry, Chris versus John Alberto. Best rivalry, Chris versus Jim Luff. Best rivalry, Chris versus Alan Mann. Best rivalry, Chris versus Cody. So it basically worked out that way.
I thought it was I thought it was funny for that certificate, that award to turn into that. What else was there? Best winning streak. I mean, I definitely want to, for those listening who kind of aren't from Florida, I mean, we had Josh Wojcik, who won stunting and had most points for second place. He won 3 tournaments consecutively. 3 after he got some advice from John Alberto, who said, when are you going to stop going after the little cups and go after the big one? And as Jason Carter put it, you don't poke the fucking bear. So he went on a winning streak of 3 tournaments in a row. He won the last one he won was the Road to the Three Kingdoms Challenge, so he got free entry into the main event going down in March. What did he win before that? Can anyone remember what tournaments they were?
Wasn't it the one in Orlando at the new place?
Drop Site?
Drop Site.
Yeah, I think they just call that Drop Site Bowl. He won that one, and
then I think he won. What is it? One before that, one of yours, I thought.
It is. I'm trying to think of.
Was it October? No, he didn't.
Oh, Ray won.
No, yeah,
and that came out of nowhere too. Jason, you were on. I think there was a time factor possibly involved with that.
Oh no, him and I were top table, and no, it was like right towards the end of time, and
so
I think
it came down to the
about
wire.
One turn, a wild swing from one side of the field to the other, and he was able to capitalize on it, and that's what gave him the win. But I mean, it was just a battle back and forth. It was a fantastic battle.
Yeah, I like Ray's coming to more. I mean, if you guys don't know, Ray Toredo is out of the Melbourne area, and he's part of the Gaifo Blood Bowl League there. And he's been playing since the very beginning. And tournaments were kind of hard for him, but he's been bringing his son Seba or Sebastian with him, and it's cool. Like, it's cool that a father and a son can come and play Blood Bowl together. I think that's awesome. Whenever I see that happen, I mean, my son's only 4, and I hope one day he picks up the hobby. That's a blessing and a curse. Because it'll be, yeah, Dad, I need $100 for more miniatures. I'm like, but son, you didn't paint the ones you got. And of course, he's going to say, well, neither did you. So I'll have no leg to stand on. But that's cool, though, when, you can bring your family with you to play. Like, I'm super excited. Who is it? Is it Chris Forrester's wife, Tombstone Frank's wife? They played in one of the original Three Kingdom Challenge tournaments from like 15 years ago, and more than likely there's a good chance that she'll be attending this one with him as well. That's awesome. A husband and a wife playing Blood Bowl together. That is so cool.
Can I comment on the Road to Three Kingdoms Cup? Because I was actually
yeah, I was getting to that because out of the 3 of us, you were the only one who was there.
Oh.
Yeah, I had personal issues, business issues. I had a subscription to Issues. There was I wasn't going, then I was going, then so I couldn't make it. I really wanted to. So tell us how that went.
It went great. So it was over here in Tampa. The establishment was more than hospitable, and our host was Old Man Monkey. He was great. He took us all to lunch at a lovely Peruvian place, on his treat, and that was completely unexpected, and everyone was very pleased with that. It was good. It was a tight little format, pretty good. I played like dog shit because I hadn't played in a while, but I played some good opponents, and it was great. It was really fun. The first round, I played a local who had never played in a tournament before. and he was new to the Blood Bowl like scene, basically at Armada, and he was playing orcs, and I'm doing my Year of Humans, and a lot of times my human teams are based around the principle that Griff is amazing.
Don't say that too many times. You give John Alberto a boner.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No, we don't.
I was winning tournaments with Griff before him, so I don't care. So
it'll still give him an erection, though.
Because he's amazing. I don't give a shit. He's the best star player. Like, no one will convince me otherwise. So I took Griff and Zug on one team. I decided just to put all my points into that. The problem is when you put all your points into that, like Griff's literally was a third of my team value. The first game, first turn, the guy decided to one die Griff, got the POW, knocked him out, and he didn't come back the entire game.
Yeah, that's because Griff's like, yeah, you already paid me my money. I'm just going to sit out now.
Yep. So when that happens and your whole team's kind of based around that, doesn't work. Doesn't work. They just fell apart.
Goddamn you, Griff.
And then I played Nick Blackie in the second round. That was just a shootout because he was playing Lizards. Not Lizards, Slann. He was playing Slann. And I had never in my life even played against Slann. Boy, that's a weird team.
Yes, it is. And it's devastating when you actually play against somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, like I couldn't stop his team from scoring, and he couldn't stop Griff. And it became a shootout. I think the score was 3-4.
Damn.
Yeah, it was either 3-4 or 2-3. It was one of that. And I managed to pull that one out in the end. Just because Griff's amazing. And that pretty much does it. And then I played Brian, another local, in the third round. He played Orcs. And his team just beat me up. That was pretty much it.
That's what they do.
They knocked Zug on the ground and just fouled him until he was dead. So, and that was.
I like a coach not afraid to foul.
Yeah, no, he was like, I got to get that guy off the field. He's too good. And I'm like, yeah, he's not bad. So he was the only muscle I had. He was a threat to the Orcs, but he played really like his Orcs. Yeah, they did more ball handling than a whorehouse. Like he was. So nice. He was throwing the ball all over the place. Like he was making passes left and right, handoffs, like everything.
Isn't that crazy? And you're just like, God damn, I can't even do that shit with elves sometimes.
Pardon my bird.
Is that a euphemism? Or are we back to John Alberto and Griff?
Okay. Sorry about that. My birds were deciding to have a moment.
If I cut out, I'll jump back on. I'm on like the loneliest deserted stretch of land between Lake Mary and the coast. I'm on Route 46. This is where you don't want to break down, otherwise you're going to die out here.
Yeah. So, but overall, yeah, it was a good tournament. As you already said, Josh won that one. He took that. That was his third of 3 in a row that he took. So that was a good one. And he actually had the option for a prize. He could have free entry into Three Kingdoms Cup, or he could have entry free into the World Cup.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think he was planning on going to the World Cup, but boy, that's pretty.
He wasn't, and that was his thing. He was like, "Oh, maybe I would want to go," but
he probably could if he wanted to.
That was an option that he had on the table. So, but he went ahead and took the Three Kingdoms one.
Yeah, I got to go. As ironic as it is, I couldn't make that event, but the week before, I happened to be in Tampa doing some Christmas shopping. So you and I got together, and we went over to Armada, and I got a chance to meet Michael, the store owner, and see the store. And man, I was pleasantly impressed with how much Blood Bowl stuff they had stocked up there. They had a lot of Blood Bowl stuff. I mean, that's some of the not gripes at all, because I think every store we play in is freaking amazing. But when we're playing Blood Bowl, I think a lot of the coaches want to drop some money in the store and possibly pick something up, and sometimes it's not possible. But I can say that, coming up in March when we play again at Armada Games for the actual Road to Three Kingdoms Challenge. So if you're listening to this and you plan on coming to the event, bring some cash with you because the store is plenty stocked, and I'm sure whatever's out by then will be there as well.
Yeah, they gave away. There was a ridiculous amount of prizes. Everyone got a prize. I'm talking first through eighth.
Really?
Everyone got a prize. Like everything. But the store gave away. I don't know. The store gave away close to $100 in gifts, and then there was close to $100 from Impact in gifts, like gift certificates. There's trophies. There was a bunch of. I think. Old Man Monkey had a bunch of old blisters, like a bunch of third edition blisters that he put out.
The treasure.
I was one spot away. I think Ken got it. He was one spot ahead of me in the pick because there was a third edition Jordell Fresh Breeze, and I was like, oh, I want that. I want it because I love the old third edition miniatures. And but yeah, Ken got it. So what is it? I ended up getting a gift certificate to Impact, but the new guy, what is it? He got one of the gift certificates to it, so I gave him a second gift certificate, so he had like $50 to spend.
Oh wow!
And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I've got so many teams. I'm like, I don't need another one. Go to Impact, get your second team. Maybe a third team with that much money. So do that." And so he was pretty cool about that. And then we all voted. The store basically said that they would donate a team, a box team. And they're like, do you want the new one dead or do you want the new Chaos? And it was pretty universal. Everyone went Chaos.
Get out. Wow. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yep. That is awesome. That's a fantastic store right there.
So someone got a new Chaos team. I think Chris Nelson got the new Chaos team. He was like, I don't know where they want the Warriors. He's like, but these freaking Beastmen look amazing. I'm like, they do. So he was going to turn them into Pestigors. I think he's making a Nurgle team. So he's like, I'm going to take all the Beastmen from this set and turn them into Pestigors.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. They are nice. I like those as a Pestigor as opposed to the Pestigors that are in the Nurgle box set.
So,
but that's just me. So Jason, tell us a little bit about. I mean, I was there and I had a fucking awesome time. But I'd rather hear it coming right from the TO's mouth. How was Dungeon Bowl?
Dungeon Bowl went very well. We got a slightly later start than I'd hoped. I think we were waiting on a couple people that we knew we were coming. But we had a total of 21 coaches, which unfortunately for me meant I was sitting out. But after going through the tournament with all the different rules, questions, and the time constraints, it's probably for the best that I sat out and just ran it.
Yes, and I've been in your shoes. I know that. I know the feeling. So, but absolutely, I can't imagine that tournament having run as smoothly as it did had you not been being the TO and moving around. You nailed it. Did a great job. It ran so smooth, like butter.
It was a fantastic time. The rules were a little bit confusing at times for some people, and I think once we got past the first round, maybe even the second round, you could start to tell a lot of people were getting used to it. I mean, Dungeon Bowl is a little bit different than the other variants we've played, specifically because of the chest and the teleporters. Because if the chest doesn't have the ball, it blows up like a bomb. And then the teleporters, they randomly send you to a different part of the pitch, or if you roll the number of the teleporter you enter, he's gone.
Yep, I lost 2 mummies in my first round against John Alberto. 2.
Oh.
And it was epic though. That's how he got the runaway win and got the all the points. And he was like, "Thank you, Jim." I'm like, "Fuck you, John."
But it was good. We had very few runaway wins or annihilation wins, which is hitting a specific win condition before the 45-minute time limit.
I think there were 5.
Yeah, I think it was 5 total, 4 runaway wins, and then there was 1 annihilation win where someone got completely pitch cleared.
Who was that? Do you remember?
Yep, Nick did it to Tim. And really, I say Nick did it to Tim, but in all honesty, Tim did it to himself. He had a lot of halflings and treemen kind of get lost in the teleporter void.
I like that aspect. That was so much fun. And I'll tell you, I had 3 really high points in that tournament. One, I got to play Tim and Chris, both Forrester brothers, who I've never played before. That was awesome. I got to play Ray after 3 years of living in Florida and having Ray in our league and playing in tournaments. I have never, ever played against Ray before.
You guys live like less than 30 minutes away, and you had to travel 3 hours to play each other.
Yep. I don't know how. Actually, I think I'm lost. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I know where I'm at. Okay. Yeah. Shockingly, and we would joke about it, be like, we've never played each other. When are we going to play each other? When are we going to play each other? And it finally happened. And he was having a rancid day. He's playing goblins, and just nothing was going right for him. And I ended up winning 1-0. So that, and my third favorite moment was I played Benji in the next to the last round. And this is his second tournament, I think, that he's played in since he got back in the Blood Bowl by accident. He was at Ancient City Barrel Bash. He was there just to kind of like watch and say hi. And Clay was down a guy, and he's like, yeah, I'll play. And I ended up playing him there. And now he's hooked again.
Yep, so you'll be joining our league again in January. So our league is actually up to about 22 coaches now for the January season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just this explosion of Blood Bowl in the state has really helped our local league, and so that's been fantastic.
He was so much fun to play. He was playing orcs, and every time an orc left his line of scrimmage, he went right into the teleporter every single time. So then I started doing it. We were just teleport riding the entire match, and it was fucking epic. We had a great time. We were laughing a lot. So I think that was probably my favorite match, just because we were just so both into it. It was good. Awesome. I had a great time at that tournament. I really did.
Yeah, we sent out a survey afterwards, and I mean, it was, I'd say, about 90 to 95% positive responses. There were a couple not liking the randomness of the chest or the teleporters, but I kind of like it because it kind of forces you to adapt. You can't go into games with a specific game plan because your opponent's going to go to the first chest, roll 6, get the ball, and it's going to like, oh, well, crap.
Yeah, John did that to me too. That's that Crutch Birdo, Captain Crutch luck of his.
Yeah, but I think overall we had some good responses. I think a lot of people really enjoyed it. I got very fortunate. I found a lot of good companies that really wanted to contribute and be a part of it.
Oh my God,
I had some really good sponsors.
There were tons of everybody. So there were 20 coaches who played, not including yourself. And everybody went through the prize pool and got an initial pick, all 20 coaches, and then we did it again. So all 20 coaches went through the prize pool twice and got 2 picks. That's insane. That is an insane amount, and that's just prizes. There was also a swag bag just for showing up and playing.
Yep. So and then we had some prizes during the rounds.
Yep, door prizes.
Yep, fortunate.
Random. Yeah, very. Oh, I wonder why my phone's dying. Very, very epic. A lot of cool stuff. Great. Ran the tournament really well. It was one of my favorites of the year for sure.
Well, I'm hopeful a lot of people agree and come back next year. And while I will admit there was a lot of good stuff there, I think my favorite piece of swag for the entire year probably was Eric's poster at the.
I was just getting to that. Yeah, I was just getting to that. So. For the Voodoo tournaments early on, I want to say it was like a couple months ago. So Gary Radziak, a friend of mine from when we were little kids, playing with Legos and Ghostbusters action figures and Secret Wars action figures on our front porches. Known Gary that long. He draws a lot of Blood Bowl stuff for a lot of the TOs around here, and now he's expanded to doing stuff for people all across the U.S., and I think he's even doing some stuff for people over in the U.K. now. So Eric, commissioned him to do a portrait of all the Florida tournament organizers and a few other coaches as a Chaos Pack team. And at first I thought, I don't know how this is going to turn out. And then when I saw the rough drafts, so I've been seeing it all along, and Eric, Gary, and I were the only ones, and Eric was adamant. He does not want anybody to know. It's a big surprise. And Gary, when I got the posters done, Gary's like, when are you going to show them? Did you show them? When is it? Tell me what happens when you show it. And everybody was kind of, I think they were stunned was really what it was. Everybody loved it.
There wasn't a huge reaction, but I think it's because everyone was in shock with just how good it was. It's phenomenal. It's such a phenomenal poster. You can tell probably 60 to 80% of the people immediately. I couldn't tell Coton because I see Coton with his glasses all the time. But when they showed me the picture they used for it, it's like, oh, yeah, that looks like Coton.
Yeah, Eric gave him pictures from people's Facebook pages. So some of them, might be going back. Like Joe didn't have his glasses. Ken had almost blondish hair. But like some people are just so spot on. Like Patrick Wynn, everybody was totally nailed, I think. But then again, I seen it from beginning to end. But yeah, the posters came out so well, and it was so cool of Eric to do that. And he did that all on his own. Basically, he just really appreciated everybody like in the tournament series, and everybody who comes to the events and shows up, and like the crew that we have. I've said it before, but like when I left Pennsylvania, I had such a great thing going up there with Blood Bowl. And I thought, there's no way I'll ever have anything nowhere near as good as that in Florida. And it's better. It's so much better. I'm so happy to say. So yeah, that was a nice little thing that he did for everybody. And I think it's amazing. So thank you again, Eric, for doing that, and Gary for doing such an amazing job.
Yes, thank you guys. And thank you, Eric. That really is fantastic. What a great idea. I think Josh as the bear might be one of my favorites. I know Chaos Pack teams don't have bears, but our Chaos Pack team does.
Yes, it had to.
My phone was ringing. Dang it.
When I saw that picture, I was like, hey, I'm like looking around, I'm like, I think that's me. And I showed it to my wife, and she's like, that's that damn picture with you in that coffee mug, isn't it? And then sure enough, I looked at my Facebook, and yep, that's it.
That's funny. Of all the pictures, that's the one.
She hates the pic. Well, she hates the way she looks in that picture, so that's why. It's not that I look bad. She just hates that picture.
Oh, man. You look great in the poster. I think I like Eric's middle finger. I mean, I didn't even notice it until I got home from the event and looked at the poster again. But Eric's middle finger's just sticking straight out like he's thinking, and it's just right there on his chin.
Yep, there's a lot of subtleties, like little things in that poster that I like. Gary did some isolated shots of people, and Liam's Goblin and I are in.
That's what I was about to say. The Liam Goblin.
Yeah, he looks like he's shit in the bucket, and he probably did. He's shit in my bucket. But I like all of them. They all turn out amazing. Oh, there was something I wanted to say. Oh, there is something I wanted to say. So yes, people were asking, well, how did you pick, who was going to go on there? And we talked about it, and it was, there were 40 tournaments that were run in Florida this year, 40. So the tournament organizers in Florida did a lot of work this year. If you haven't run a tournament, it's kind of hard to say until you do it, but it's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's great. It's rewarding. That's why I do it, and that's why everybody does it. It's fun to do. But don't get me wrong. I mean, you spend a lot of time, you spend a lot of money. You get peppered with a billion questions.
It's risky because you don't know if you're going to spend too much and not get it back and everything. Like
until you've done a bunch to kind of get a feel for it, and even then when you do, you just never know what attendance. Like I think for my Oktoberfest, this was the 4th year I've run it. I've never had an Oktoberfest where I've had less than 20 coaches. And this is the first year I did. I think we only had like 12, maybe. So I had so many people drop out at the last minute, and shit happens. I mean, life gets in the way, and that's just the way that it is. There's nothing you can do about it. So, you could plan. You can't really plan for that. But yeah, 40 tournaments this year in Florida Blood Bowl. It was a lot of events. The tournament organizers did an amazing job. So I feel bad. It hasn't been noticed yet, but I noticed it, I think, after the fact, and how I missed it. So I'll take responsibility and I'll take the blame for it. But we missed one tournament organizer, and I don't know how we missed him. Ken Atkinson over in Pensacola ran the why can't I think of what it is? The Western one. Tombstone Cup. Yep, which I went to, and that's where I got my 24. So you would think that would stand out in my brain, and like Eric did not go to that event, so I fault him not at all for not realizing, but I should have. So we'll definitely have to include him in next year's. I'm sure he'll run something again, and I'm sure we'll do something. I don't know. Maybe we'll all dress up as sailors. Who knows?
Sailors.
Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Florida Blood Bowl as a dark elf team. I want to see who gets to be the witch elves.
Oh yeah, not me. So does that mean we get to like paint our faces like Chang on Community? Because that would be awkward.
It'd be a little awkward.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, but it was funny though. If you haven't seen that was Ryan and I were just talking about this. It's like we both watched Community. I tore through it. I binge watched it. But my introduction to Community was, hey, did you hear about the Dungeons and Dragons episode they did? And of course, I had to look it up. I'm like, whoa, that is just absolutely crazy. But I hated Pierce right from the very beginning. First, that episode pretty much did it for me.
Oh, I think. Well, I love Chevy Chase.
Oh, he's such a dick though in real life.
He's got his own story. We'll talk about it off air sometime. But he's got his own story.
Everybody's got their own story. But Annie's boobs. That's all I got to say. 2 words. Annie's boobs. Great show. But I digress. So at some point, we're going to talk about the upcoming Three Kingdoms Challenge, which is going down in March. We're waiting for Old Man Monkey. He had some stuff to do. I thought he would have popped on here by now. Let me check the chats here and see if he got lost. Nope. I think he's still doing whatever he's doing, which is cool. But yeah, we had a lot of questions already so far. So it's based off of another tournament over in the UK, and it's a team tournament where there's emphasis on putting together a team and playing against other teams. So the first question I had was, well, do I have to be on a team? Well, technically, no. If you show up without a team, as long as we have an even amount of coaches, just like any other regular Blood Bowl tournament, then we just need to have a ringer. So I'm looking at them as like mercenary coaches, not part of a team, but there will be team prize. There'll be a team prize and there'll be an individual coach prize. So they could still compete, to win overall. But the team thing turned out to be it was like on fire right from the beginning. I mean, you had coaches who are very competitive already putting together a team like, yo, let's team up now. Let's just call it, make it official.
Is it John Alberto, Chris, and Howard?
I believe so.
All right. I have no idea. I'm just taking guesses.
I believe that's a team. I'm trying to think of who's on Josh's team. I can't remember. He told me today who his team was.
Is it Josh, Nick, and maybe Ken? I don't know.
I think maybe Ken, but I don't think Nick, because Eric and I were talking about Nick Phillips doing a team. But then, I realized that if I have to be put into a ringer situation, I really won't be able to be on a team. Or not. I don't know.
You and I are ringing.
I think that'd probably be for the best. So I don't know. Either way, there's a lot of the thing that I'm really was blown away by was Jacksonville. So the rules pack got approved last night. So I posted the rules today, and now it's going for 10 o'clock, and Jacksonville almost has 3 teams.
Oh, we're almost at 4.
Oh my God.
We have 11 that have already said they're in.
So Jacksonville's ready to do battle.
Yeah. Wow. Well, both Tim and Chris Forster actually went to this Three Kingdoms Challenge originally back when.
15 years ago. Yeah.
So they've been talking about this for months, talking to the league, generating the interest. They're like, we're ready to go. Who's all going with us? As soon as the rules hit, we had like 8 or 9 people that were ready to go.
So Jacksonville will have a presence. Tampa, obviously, because it's hometown, will have a presence. Orlando will have a presence. Melbourne, like our area down where I live, will have a presence. Gainesville, Vegas, as they're calling themselves, will have a presence. And then you have the out-of-towners. You got Ramsey McPherson coming down from Connecticut because he came to the original Three Kingdoms Challenge. There are some guys across the United States who played in the original. They're coming. I even heard rumors that there were some out of the country coaches coming. Possibly a guy from Belgium, possibly a guy from the UK.
It would be nice to actually have a beer with Ramsey. He only came by just for a few minutes at one tournament. We didn't actually get to.
Yeah, he came by to judge the painting tournament for the Stunny Cup, the Stunny Challenge or whatever I called it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what it was called, but yeah, he was one of the proponents of him and Patrick Wynn. With all the tournaments that I was putting on down here, they were like, why don't you try to bring this tournament back? And I just really wanted to work with Old Man Monkey and do something with Jim And when I mentioned it to him, like I didn't approach him like, hey, you ran this tournament so long ago. Can I bring this back? Could I run it? Could I do this? It was, hey, how would you feel about bringing this tournament back and, me helping you organize it and run it? I would love to work with you because you're a fucking legend in the Blood Bowl community. And he was all about it. And it made me very excited. And I'm really looking forward to it. 2 days in Tampa, 2-day Blood. So this will be Florida's first 2-day Blood Bowl tournament since that one. I don't think there's been a 2-day tournament since then.
No, I'm talking. We have Crucible is 3 days of Blood Bowl, but it is not a 2-day tournament.
Yeah, we have the Street Brawl on Friday. Then we had an event on. Well, we didn't have anything last year. It was just a Street Brawl. This year we had the 3. Next year there's the possibility of running Oktoberfest over Saturday and Sunday and doing it as a 2-day. And I would like to do that.
I think that should be more than. I think that should be a factuality.
I hope so. We already put it in the rule.
Yeah, I'm 99.9% sure. I mean, unless something happens, like Crucible's only 1 day this year for some reason. I don't know, something stupid. But yeah, the 99.9% sure that's what it's going to be, and it's the 5th Oktoberfest. So I would like to do something cool. But yeah, that's a long way away. Three Kingdoms Challenge is going to be right around the corner. It's going to be in March. So we're already got the rules out. We're going to talk about the tournament fee pretty soon. I think we're talking today about doing different levels. So a basic entry. Where the hell am I? The basic entry, like a medium level entry that comes with certain select swag, and then like an ultimate entry, which basically gives you everything. And of course, swag again being what it is, and Jason said raising the bar even higher. In my brain, I'm like, to me, this is probably going to be the biggest tournament that I'm a part of in 2019, as it should be. And I couldn't stop thinking of all the different things that I want to do, and that's just things that I want to do. Armada's got their own things they want to do. Old Man Monkey, I'm sure, like he told me, don't even worry about the trophies. That's my thing. I'm like, okay, awesome. One less thing I have to worry about that I know is going to be handled, to the nth detail, because it's Jim we're talking about. So I don't have to worry.
Can I mention the trophies that were at the Road to Three Kingdoms Challenge?
Yeah, I didn't see any pictures or anything of them. So absolutely.
So he brought a totem first off. Like it was like a 2-foot statue, very industrial art of I believe it's of a skink, and it was apparently a god of some sort of the Three Kingdoms Challenge back in the day, and he was going to have it cleaned up. I believe that was going to go to Josh as the winner. I believe that was how it was going.
That sounds awesome.
But also everyone who won, he have you ever, well, you guys, but I don't know, people out of the States, if you go to any tourist trap in Florida, which there's so many of, they sell about these like things. They're about maybe 6-inch gator heads that are like open mouthed. So he got those, and then he themed them for the champions and everything like that. Like the champions, if I remember, had like a gold cup in its mouth, and the most casualties had like a dead body in the mouth. And like those were the trophies, and they were awesome.
That sounds awesome.
It was really neat, and he put effort into it, and it was great. I love the DIY trophies and stuff like that. Granted, I did mine for mine too. Like I really like those. They're really neat. So if he's doing the trophy, I feel very confident that it will be really good. Hopefully people will, if they win it and have to fly home, can somehow get it home. That would be good too.
Yeah, I'll ship it to him or something. We'll figure something out. You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, I was losing you for a little bit there. I took a weird corner. Now I'm on 95, so now it should be good.
But yeah, I think he'll do really well with that. But yeah, if we're going to try to go with what we talked about earlier, I think it's a good idea. I think that the tiered level, people can buy in how they want.
Yeah, and getting registration in by like the end of January and picking your level of commitment, I think that'll help us be able to better organize things. So this way, there's little waste. I mean, granted, nothing ever truly goes to waste because it'll go to support other tournaments or be sold in like on the the Facebook bartering pages and stuff like that. So nothing ever really goes to waste. It finds a good home eventually.
So, I wanted to make a quick comment. I'm going to jump in here. This is kind of a non sequitur, but it's going to happen. I guess between the last time we've done this and this time, like, I don't know if we've discussed it, but I don't know if people know or they're out of states or something like that. But I don't know if this was in last time, but one of our people around here passed away, Alan, one of our Blood Bowl people. We did a fundraiser via the Blood Bowl community to help his family with some miniatures that he had already kind of commissioned, and we did some caps and dice and everything like that. And everyone from all over the Blood Bowl community chipped in on this, and we were able to raise a very substantial amount of money for the family to help them offset. So I especially want to thank James because he really pushed and organized a lot of that. I was just kind of the receptive body that kind of collected the money and totaled it. But yeah, everyone in the Blood Bowl that chipped in, it went to a really good cause, and all were very special. And that's it.
I agree, Ryan.
Yeah.
Very, very grateful to everyone out there who helped out. I know the family probably really appreciates it. A very, very big thank you to you, James, because I'm sure that was a lot of work that you put in, and you really crushed it to really help his family out.
Yeah, it was good. Unfortunately to say, Alan didn't have a life insurance policy and didn't have a lot of money in the bank account, so it was just a little bit of a struggle. And the Blood Bowl community, it's a great community. And like Ryan said, everybody chipped in. I had nothing but like when I put everything up there to kind of like make available for people to buy, it was like a frenzy, and everybody was so cool with me in getting back to them. If I know somebody wanted a team and then I had to look at the timestamp on it and somebody posted before that person, I had to tell them, I'm really sorry. And, I just trying to be fair with the pricing, with everything, thinking of Alan's family, and everybody was so cool. Nobody got bent out of shape about nothing. Everybody was happy what they got, or it was great. And, I just want to say that Jack from Maelstrom Gaming Mats, he ended up sending in a box of goodies that we're going to raffle off or auction off or make available to people. So we have a charity tournament event coming up in February. We actually cleared all of February from the Blood Bowl calendar for Florida down here to make room for this one tournament. So we're going to have a lot of stuff there to raise some more money for his family. It's always something. It never stops. And I think Alan's sister Melissa mentioned that she wanted to come by and meet everybody. It's going to be at Drop Site Games in Orlando on February 16th. It's a Saturday. So if you're listening and you have not already committed to the event, please come. We're doing 11s. So Alan ran Bloody Valentine's last year up in Lakeland. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to continue on with that tradition and run it again as we Bloody Valentine's 2. Josh is kind of spearheaded, putting the rules together and running the event. And then afterwards, there'll be a sevens. Mark Perry from Vegas is coming over to Florida, and he's going to come and play some Blood Bowl with us. And I just found out that Jason Weaver, Mr. Weave, is going to be coming from the Pacific Northwest, and he's going to be in Orlando on that day and playing some Blood Bowl with us all day. So very happy to have him come back. He was there for Crucible weekend and had a great time with him.
He just couldn't stay away from us, could he?
No, he's been bitten. He wants to be a Floridian, I think.
I listened to a lot of the Fame Plus 2 podcast, and I don't think he wants to be a Floridian, but he did have a good time with us. I'll say that. But they have a great scene up in the Pacific Northwest.
They do. And I wanted, that's one of the things on my bucket list. And I mentioned before, last year I went to Chaos Cup, and I try to go to different tournaments. I really, having the Three Kingdoms Challenge in Tampa is going to be big. And it's still a traveling tournament. Tampa's, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, kind of as far as Jacksonville, but it's a stayover event. And it's about 2 weeks away from Oklahoma and Spiky, which I've been trying to get to since I started listening to the Bolt Down podcast. And, I ran my first Blood Bowl tournament a couple of years ago, and Scott and Steve were instrumental in helping me put together my rules pack, looking at everything, giving me advice. So I still want to, repay the favor, and they support all my tournaments and everything. So I really want to get out to their event. I just don't know if being 2 weeks away from Three Kingdoms, if it's possible this year.
They were also one of the first people to jump on the Allen Man fundraiser.
Yes, definitely.
They're good peeps.
They are, yes. They're gingers and they eat souls, but they're still good peeps.
That is true. Good stuff all around. With this, like I said, the community really jumps in and helps when it's needed. We had people from all over the globe.
Yes, yeah,
literally all over the world. I think the farthest place we have is Australia, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
You bring up a good thing, and I know we would have gotten to it eventually. But one of the trophies we put together was a sportsmanship trophy, which I won. These things are not fixed, people, and no bribes went through. But I was very happy to win that trophy, and we named it the what was it? The Neil Hess Man Trophy, the Neil Hessman Trophy, like a Heisman. I thought it was kind of apropos. So Ryan, your friend Neil, passed away this year, and he was part of the Blood Bowl community. And we lost Brian Hess earlier this year as well. He was out near Pensacola, and we lost Alan. So we lost 3 coaches this year. And the ironic thing is when I, came down to Florida and was, talking to different people and everything, I would be talking to Brian Hess, and I never met him, but we would talk. And when he was in the hospital before he passed away, we were chatting about, different Kickstarters and different rosters and this and that. And then all of a sudden things kind of go silent. I didn't hear from him. And the next thing I find out, his mom and his brother were posting from his Facebook page that he had passed away. So it's just, it's so weird. Like, you talk to people, like, and maybe Florida Blood, like, we have an official, like, locker room chat. And it's honestly, it is like how I start my day. Howard's usually the first one in there, like around 6 a.m. And so am I. And it's like, hey, fuckers, good morning. Here's a meme of Elmo shitting. Have a good day. It gets me through my day.
It is the Mose Eisley of chat rooms. You will never find a more hive of scum and villainy than the Florida Blood Bowl locker room chat.
That might be the best explanation for that I've ever heard.
Yes, it is. And the only person
I have to put y'all on mute and just chime in on occasion because my soul can't take it.
And ironically, the only person who's ever been kicked out of the chat is Alan. And it's really like half his fault, half not his fault. So he had a significant other at one point in time, and they broke up and they got back together. And the next thing you know, they were separating again, and all the shit was going down in the chat, and we're all just like, y'all got to get the fuck out. So he was the only person. So that's kind of fitting. What a character, man. Just what a guy. Nobody tried to cover up who or what Alan was, but everybody accepted him for who he was because he was one of us. He was one of, you know what I mean? I'm not perfect. There's a lot of us who aren't perfect, but we know that's how I don't know. I guess I didn't grow up with a family. So I don't know. Like my friends were my family, and no matter what type of asshole my friend is, he's still my friend, and he's still still my family. And it's kind of the same feeling here, where I've gotten into with Alan before. He'll show up at a tournament and give me that look like, "You mad?" I'm like, "Fuck no, I'm not mad. Let's roll some dice." So
yeah, and second off, the point that I think Strong that made was like, even if you disagreed with Alan and he wasn't a perfect person, as that people often say, this was for his family. Like this fundraiser was not specifically for Alan. Like this is for the people he
correct,
left.
correct.
He had he has a relatively young son and daughter, and he had a sister who's getting stuck with a lot of bills. So
And a grandchild.
yeah, and this is for them.
Oh my God, that just reminded me of something. You're gonna find out about this, or whoever comes to Bloody Valentine's too. So talking to Alan's sister Melissa, when I picked up all of Alan's stuff to start getting prepped for shipping, I learned so much stuff about Alan, man, that nobody knew. That when she comes and talks to people when at this event,
Oh, was it so good that we lost?
he used to company. He used to own a cake company. He baked cakes for a fucking living.
Really?
Alan Mann baked cakes.
I can't even imagine that. I can't imagine.
That's not even the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, and I'm not gonna. That's my little teaser, but like, she was telling me this stuff, and obviously there'd be no need to exaggerate. But I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that's crazy. No, come on, you're pulling my leg. You're joking me here. So Alan was an interesting person, and it made me wish, like, and for as much as I talked to him, there was so much I didn't know. It was only just kind of scratching the surface, and that could be said about anybody, obviously. But yeah, it'll be cool to hear some of these stories, and I'm sure, it's going to be a day of reminiscing and telling stories about Alan in February. And it looks to be like it's going to be a pretty well attended tournament. People were committing from coming up from Miami across, east and west Florida. So I think it'll be a good turnout. It'll be a good day. Still there? Did I lose everybody?
Yeah,
Nope.
sorry, my bird was freaking out again. I had to put it on mute,
that's
but
okay.
good.
Okay, I didn't know if it was me.
Nope, not
Dead
you.
Space. Oh, if we were in the radio industry, we'd have people yelling at us.
Dead. So
Dead Space, no good. That just cost the company $10,000. I don't know. I just exaggerated that bit. I don't really know what it costs.
10 AMAs in, we're still amateurs.
I want to be an amateur. I like how we do what we do. Like I said, I've tried to do podcasts in the past, and I think I got overwhelmed with like production and stuff like that, and trying to make it perfect. And and being part of the Two Drunk Flings and Friends podcast, Mike does an amazing job of putting that fucking thing together. But I mean, it's a labor of love. You record it, and you don't hear that episode for like a month or more. I mean, the guys from like Both Down, Three Die Block, and some of the other ones that have been around a little longer, they have guys, who do the production for them, and they're fucking pros at this shit. They can record and put something together in a relatively short period of time. So I like doing the AMAs. Yeah, we have our glitches and we have our issues, but it's all live. It's all now. There's no stressing about production. I don't know. We don't have our shit on iTunes, so we can say shit and fuck and piss and boobs and dick and I don't know, whatever else. Moist. That's probably the worst offending one right there.
Moist is good.
Especially if you're a girl. No offense towards girls. Girls are good. Girls are nice. I was at Home Depot and I said something like, she's like, "Oh, why didn't you do this?" And I said, "Well, because my wife's picky." And she says, "Yeah, women." I'm like, "No, I didn't say that. I just said my wife. I didn't say women."
Gotta be careful.
Chuckle. Yeah, I got a good chuckle out of her though. So yeah, 2019 shaping up to be a good year of Blood Bowl already. The majority of the people, it seemed, were kind of all on the same page, which is good. That sometimes less is more. So we're kind of being very considerate of other TOs and trying not to crowd the venue, like the dates. We set some different guidelines down for Voodoo 2019 in regards to earning points, in regards to running events. Like the variant events are now going to be 4 rounds if they're going to count for Voodoo instead of 3. Points are an average of 10 events, right, Jason? Or do I have that
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah, it's only your top 10 events are going to count. Travel points are not included in your event points anymore. They're now going to be a separate category, and you can only max out at 10. So it's almost like getting an 11th tournament if you happen to achieve all 10 travel points.
Nice.
Yep.
And then we have 4 premier events or super majors or whatever we can call them now because we can't call them majors.
Super premier major events.
Super grande mega awesome events.
I'm all for all those.
Yep. We have 4 of those now that are worth more points. Obviously, with Three Kingdoms being the first of that.
Yeah, we're still a open format, open tournament series as opposed to a fixed. Whereas in I don't know if anybody's aware, but there are several tournament series like the Beast on the East Coast, Scars in the Midwest, Grand Prix on the West Coast, and there's a northern one up in Michigan, and I can never remember what it's called. I want to say Ferry, but maybe I'm just making that shit up. I really don't know. But anyway, like the Beast tournament series is a fixed tournament series or a structured. That's the word, structured. So they announce all their events, and I think they do 1 a month. So they have 12 events over the year, and those are the only ones that earn points. So they're playing more Blood Bowl than those 12, but only those 12 count for the tournament series. We're still open, but we're anchored by 4 prestige or multi-class, super razzle-dazzle.
We should call them Florida size.
Florida size, yeah, there you go.
They're Florida
size events. So we're anchored by 4. And Jason, you were about to say what those 4 are: the Three Kingdoms Challenge in March, and what are the other 3?
The other 3 are Inconceivable in June, and then there will be 2 events at Crucible. The first being the Street Brawl on Friday, and the second being the Oktoberfest on Saturday and Sunday.
So those 4 were just kind of picked. It wasn't like an uber amount of thought. There were other ones that could have been included, and maybe next year. I'm always leery about offending somebody. Like when the award certificates were kind of announced, somebody said, "Hey, what about one for most attended tournament?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, that could have been one." I kind of looked at that as kind of the fan favorite one as well. That was one fan favorite tournament, and that went to Clay Hare's Ancient City Barrel Bash, which was
Beer and Blood Bowl is almost a gimme.
Beer and Blood Bowl, yes, definitely. That everybody loved that event. I mean, they were asking for another event right before that one was over. Like, hey, when are we doing this again?
Yeah. Well, most of them were trash too, but
yeah, that's true.
And then I think it was Ryan. Your event came in second in that category, did it not?
I think it actually did. I was kind of floored at that one.
I did not know that. That's
I
awesome.
personally liked it. I thought your event was fantastic. I don't even have to think about snacks. I can go eat ice cream and play Blood Bowl. Yes, I thought it was great.
I can even get lost if I walk around for more than 5 minutes. That place is huge.
We lack beer, but what we make up for is calories. So that's
calories. Blood Bowl came in a very close second to Beer and Blood Bowl.
I think I should change the theme from Grand Arena to like a halfling one and just call it like Fatty Bowl.
Nice.
That would be good. You can call it like Fifth Breakfast. Fifth Breakfast Bowl.
What about
borrow that?
What about Twosies?
Twosies is good.
Twosies is good. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, I got a couple of people asking me since the summer, saying, "Hey, when are we going to do another Stunning Slam?" That's what it was, Stunning Slam. And I'm like, I
hate that godforsaken tournament. Man, those halflings kicked me in the sack so much that weekend.
They sure did. Yeah, you were not a happy camper.
God, that was my worst tournament by far, and I could not figure it out. The halfling chef sucked, absolutely sucked.
One thing I liked about watching the scores this year, just like as a recollection of the entire year, you see the people that, consistently come pretty good in top, but there's just the occasional tournament where like some outsider just comes in and wins it. And there's this occasional thing where like you see like a person who normally does really well, like in last place, like or second. Like it just goes to show you that anyone can have a good day and anyone can have a terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't think anyone would be interested in doing that again, and I had a bunch of people ask me. So I tell you what, Ryan, we might have to partner up on and do twosies or whatever at Grand Arena and run it there. I think that'd be a good venue for that.
Everyone, the entry.
I was waiting for someone to say it. As long as there's fucking air conditioning, that was the most physically brutal environment that I've ever played a game in. And there was like, I think I had 3 people ask me like, dude, are you all right? You look really red. You better sit down. Are you okay?
You weren't even playing, and you looked like you were sweating like you were in a sauna.
Oh, it was bad.
We need to do that again and tell them to turn the AC off and just call it Endurance Bowl.
No, I can't do it. No.
It starts really early in the morning, and you keep playing until people can't play anymore. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. You just have to be the last one standing.
I'm driving in the car, and it is 57 degrees. And as soon as we start talking about this, I think I just broke out into a sweat. I'm like, God, no. But that was the last time I played at Campus Cards, because after that, it was nope. I don't know if it was like a mental thing. I just had no desire to kind of go back there.
Well, I remember I went to Campus and Cards for one of the Hooky Bowls this year. I remember they were having problems with
Little Florida.
Yeah, they were having problems with their AC then. They had like the big like a big like tarp, and it was collecting air or collecting water from the AC leaks and everything like that. And then I remember it wasn't too long after that event happened, and I guess the AC went out completely.
I was sitting there thinking about all the things this year, and it's end of the year, and you start thinking about New Year's resolutions and regrets and all that shit. And so I was. This is
like a flashback episode.
It is. It kind of like a year, a year in summary. And I was sitting there thinking, like, well, what did I want to do this year that I didn't? And one of the things that I failed to do and I really wanted to do was I wanted to, and it's not my fault, because what ended up happening, like Jason ended up kind of kicking in with his Dungeon Bowl, and there was just no room on the calendar for it. But I was planning on doing the thing as a Dungeon Bowl event, and as soon because Jason was right, it was a year of John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. Those were like some themes from this year, Kurt Russell especially, and I didn't get to do that. And there was like 2 other things that I was thinking about. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get to do that either. But there's only so much shit you could do in a year.
Yeah.
But
you need to tell yourself that.
Yeah, I do. But thinking about that Hooky Bowl, that Big Trouble in Little Florida, that was the 5th Hooky Bowl, and Gary fucking killed it. He's like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I have an idea. I said, you tell me if it works. So the theme of that event was Big Trouble in Little China, which we renamed to Big Trouble in Little Florida. And there was a movie poster with all the characters. And I said, Gary, what I want to do is replace images on that movie poster with different images from the Hooky Bowls we've done prior. And he fucking killed it. And for that particular event, the poster just turned out amazing. But I also got T-shirts done. And it is probably one of my favorite T-shirts to wear, because when people, and I've actually worn it out, like I wear it all the time. And when I go to the grocery store, people will be like, dude, that is a cool T-shirt. And I'm like, I know. Like total Han Solo. I love you. I know. But it is an awesome shirt, and I love wearing it. It's like the color I got is like a deep maroon, and it just works so good with the artwork. And the artwork is so fucking badass. Man, I just love that pitch that Jack did for Maelstrom, and I love everything about it. I love the dice, the Wing Kong Trading Company I put on there. Yeah. I just love how everything for that tournament, and that They Live one, they just were, those 2 John Carpenter events were just amazing. So I think I need to do the trifecta and do the thing. We'll see, especially now that everybody's got a really good taste of Dungeon Bowl, thanks to Jason. it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot easier for me to put something together.
There's a lot of tournaments out there that people do. Like I know there's one in Texas, and I know there's a couple up north, and then Games Workshop themselves have released like rules for like ice pitches. And you could really do something with that with the thing too.
Definitely, and I was thinking it'd be like a little bit of a mix of like we got the Dungeon Bowl element. You could definitely put in some pitch effects, and when Jason set his set piece up for the Dunwich Horror, doing something like that, for the thing.
I think you should.
There's a lot that could be done there, and I think it's shit. Yesterday I was sitting there and I was at Starbucks. I was talking to Alberto last night because I was writing the rules for Graveyard Cup 2 on Friday the 13th, which is a long way off. And listening to Cody and John in the back seat all the way up to Gainesville talk about their next tournament, and they wanted to do custom star player. And I was writing those rules for Graveyard Cup, and I'm like, it'd be cool to do a custom serial killer. And when I submitted that to the NAF, I submitted that one, Three Kingdoms Challenge, and then the Sin City Sevens Florida edition. And they all got approved right quick, except for the Graveyard Cup. And the reply that I got back from the tournament approver, I can't think of what the title is, the tournament director, whatever they do. They were like, I don't understand what you're trying to do with this serial killer. Oh man, I started laughing so hard because I guess, I had to explain it, and then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because last year we just had a chainsaw, a guy running around with a rusty chainsaw. So this year I thought, well, I'm going to do 4 players for people to pick from, kind of like how Chris did with the Florida Man tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, you know what, that's a lot of work. I'm going to put 4 together, and then someone's going to be like, these 2 are awesome, these 2 blow, and then I wasted 2 hours. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a page out of John and Cody's book. They were literally like 2 little girls in the backseat talking about this shit the entire way up to Gainesville. And I thought, you know what? They actually had a lot of good points. I'm like, I'm going to do create your own serial killer.
How were they coming back from Gainesville?
No, I was on the way up to Gainesville. They were quiet on the way back from Gainesville.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was funny too because Pat Wynn gave me a so I don't know if anybody knows this or not, even though I'm part of the Two Drunk Flings podcast, and I love Both Down and everything. My favorite podcast is the Siggy Lama Show starring Sigmund Lamar, which is no longer in production. But it is my favorite podcast because it is just so goddamn funny, and I love everything that he does. He did paint casts where he would just be painting miniatures and just talking and playing music. The gentleman who's behind it, Jeremy Morse, is extremely talented musically and plays his own instruments and makes up his own original music. I really enjoyed those podcasts. So Pat knew this, and he gave me the I forget what he called it, the Take Homer. Basically, it was he recorded an episode of his podcast for people to take home from Chaos Cup, and that was back in 2014. So Pat had this on him, and he gave it to me at Ancient City Barrel Bash, and I had it in my car. And they wanted to hear the Lord Borak Valentine special, and I couldn't get it to play. So I popped that in, and we were listening to that on the way back. And it was funny because, all of us went to Chaos Cup, me, Josh, Cody, and John. So we were listening to this recorded from leaving Chaos Cup 4 years prior. But all the things that he talked about were still relevant even to this year's Chaos Cup. It was funny. So we listened to that on the way home, and that was about an hour long or more. And then we listened. Josh and I were singing on the way home.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I like singing. We went to, I forget what event it was. Might have been Inconceivable. It was one of the Jacksonville ones, and we came up and we were listening to Queen, and we were singing Bohemian Rhapsody on the way home. That sticks out in my mind. I mean, everybody, like, there was no embarrassment. No one was shy. Everybody was fucking belting it out as loud as we could. It was awesome. So Josh and I, we didn't even it was just, we both started singing to the song. And then he's making up alternate lyrics to the songs that are just fucked up lyrics. I don't know. He was singing, he had me cracking up. He was singing about some weird shit. But it made sense.
Well, good in context.
It was. There was a commercial, I think it was Geico or something like that years ago, and it was Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me. and the guy and the girlfriend are in the car, and he's singing the words, and they're all fucked up, they're all wrong, and she's like, "What do you think he says?" And he's like, blah blah blah, and she's like, "That is not what he's." Whatever the commercial was, I remember that much of it. That the guy singing, I got the lyrics all wrong. So he's over there making up his own lyrics, and he had me busting up laughing. It was pretty funny. It made a long drive. It was a long fucking drive to Gainesville, I tell you. Like, the drive to Jacksonville is right quick because it's just straight shot up 95. But there was like some kind of weird fucking traffic going on. Then we got stuck at a stoplight getting off the highway for 20 minutes. I don't know. It was just a long ass. It felt like we were driving all day. And then we finally got there. It was like, holy Christ, thank God.
Yeah, Gainesville can be rough sometimes. All the back roads that you have to take from Jacksonville to there, it's like, man, this feels like it's twice as long than it really is.
It did. It felt like ridiculously long.
Did you have to go through Waldo?
Yeah, I went through Waldo and Lottie.
Yeah.
Lottie? Is that the song that CCR sings about?
No.
You're
from up north. Do you not know of Waldo?
I know. Where's Waldo?
Yeah, no. There's a place in Florida called Waldo, and to get basically across the state, to kind of go from that Gainesvillian area to the Jacksonvillian area, if you're on this side of the state on the coast, you have to travel through this little back road. It's literally just like a 2-lane highway, or 4-lane highway, depending on parts of it. But it goes through these little places called like Waldo and Bonnie and stuff. But they're famous. They're literally on AAA's like hit list because it goes from like a 70-mile-an-hour zone to a 30-mile zone in like 10 feet. And all they do, and it stretches only for like 500 yards. And that's how big the town is. And then they just sit there and pull you over and ticket you constantly. That's how the entire town makes its revenue.
Oh, yeah, they're both speed traps. They suck. Absolutely suck.
Yep. That sounds awful.
Yep. They're it's just renowned for it, and you have to go through that way.
Yeah, I think is it 301?
No choice.
Yep. It's the worst.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're going up through that area, like go to Jacksonville, Savannah, that's where.
Whoa. Monster energy drink, energy iced tea. That sounds good.
Energy iced tea?
Yep. They have these at one of the vending machines at work, and I've been drinking them. I just popped into one of the local, I don't even know what this store is, to get 2 of them because I just need energy. Hi.
Nuclear horse piss.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right with that.
Nothing but professionalism here, folks.
Yep.
That's why we do it live.
Come listen to us talk Blood Bowl and buy energy drinks at the same time.
Energy drinks are good. Thank you.
No other podcast offers this level of realism.
Yep.
We are actually literally in the streets.
We are living Blood Bowl all our lives.
We are AMA for the people. Thank you. Have a good night. Oh, now I'm at Starbucks, my home away from home. It is so nice outside. I'm just going to sit out here and just talk Blood Bowl shit. All right. So I don't know whatever happened to Old Man Monkey, but let's kind of just talk about some of the rules questions that I've already gotten.
Yeah.
So star players, yes. Do they have to have 11 on the roster before the star player? Yes. They can't be the 11th. It's a 1.2 build. So Jason had a good question today, which when I was copying the verbiage from the other tournament, because it's very similar, during the team building portion, it used the terminology of skill stacking. And Jason asked me, he's like, what is skill stacking? And I had to look it up because we don't use that term here in the United States, or at least in Florida. So skill stacking, for those of you who don't know, is when you are putting more than one skill on the same player. So this particular tournament, based off of what tier, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, and there was already some questions about, whoa, why are Bretonnians tier 1 and Necro tier 2? They should be flip-flopped. Well...
Yeah, I did notice that. I'm like, wow, Necro's a steal in tier 2.
That's what Tombstone Frank said, too. So, all I can say and John argued with me nonstop about Oryx being a tier 1 team, but they're a tier 1 in every other tournament that I ever came across. So this tournament that we're basing a lot of this off of, and this is actually a good prep for those coaches going to World Cup. This is not the first time that this tournament is run, and it's been that way, and it has not been an issue for them. So yeah, you have Necro as a tier 2 team, but you like I said before with the skill stack, you are only putting one skill on one player. So that's going to have an impact, especially for us in Florida, because usually it's 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's probably why Bretonians are up there as a tier A, because every Bretonian automatically comes with 1.
Right.
And now you get the possibility to put 2 on them without skill stacking. I mean, based on the no skill stacking rule, I guess I can kind of see some of the adjustments.
And I can tell you that the UK are a lot more staunch about their rule sets than we are here in the US. We are far more flexible and dangerous when it comes to putting rule sets together with special rules and or team building. So they are generally far more reserved than we are here. So when I saw it, I really wasn't concerned about it. And ultimately, Old Man Monkey will have the final say, and if he feels that strongly about it, he can make that change. But I'm just looking at it as though it is what it is, and that's what we're going to go with and see what happens. I mean,
can you pull the results for those tournaments that we're basing it off of? Was Necro this dominant team that won every single thing?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I could look.
If I'm talking, that would be my thing. Like, why take a guess and look at it?
Why take a guess? Because I don't wear underwear. That's why. I fly by the seat of my pants. No parachute. Commando. But yeah, you're right. I could take a look.
Yeah. If Necro's not placing reasonable, then or is placing where it probably should. And it's not like winning every tournament. Then yeah, that's probably where they need to be.
So there was that rules question. There was a question about the star players. Our team's going to have to play against each other. No. So if you're playing in a team, which almost all the coaches are, and the cool thing about this is we have that option. We're encouraging the team play, because if you are going to World Cup or you're doing something like a Oracle Cup, next year or the year after in 2020, then playing in a team is a good thing. And the way the team works is there's 3 tiers. You're taking you can't have the same team because each coach is taking a different tier. Wow, that bird was rapping, or that bird agrees wholeheartedly?
I think we just got one person approving right there.
Oh my God, that iced tea is so good. It's probably got crack in it. But anyway.
Right when it hits your lips, man, it's just so good.
It's so good.
So good.
So you got a coach playing each of the tiers.
Right.
I'm fairly certain, 99.9% certain, that you, like with a Moracle, your tier 1 or tier A played against the other team's tier A.
So you're only going to face your tier's teams. So if you're this tier, you're only going to face other teams' C tiers.
No. That's how Moracle did it. I mean, and unless Jim says otherwise, I was thinking that you basically are playing whoever you're playing except for somebody on your own team. So just like a regular tournament, I mean, if you play halflings, you could end up playing against Amazons and Chaos Dwarfs.
So then how would you, I guess, do team results then? Because I could see it if you're one team against another team and you win 2 out of 3, well, you beat that team, you get a team win. Or if you lose 2 out of 3, you take a team loss. But that would be if you're playing the same team.
I think it's just combined points.
Yes. There's a point structure for it.
Yeah.
And Jim he's more up on this than I am. And he might be able to better explain it, but from the way I'm seeing it, it's just total points. So there will be a team champion, and then there'll be an individual champion, which you could say would be more than likely from the winning team, but it's not entirely, you could get a rogue coach end up in there and not on a team. end up winning it. You never know. But I thought that that'd be more flexibility than, trying to cram people into a team to fit the theme of the event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've had 2 coaches already ask me, like, do I have to be part of a team? Like, what if I don't want to be on a team and just want to play? Well, I really wouldn't see why I would have to turn them away, because if I said, well, I could put you on a team, but then if we can't find one more person, we'll either have to substitute somebody like Ryan or myself, or you can't play. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the only thing that I would say that might get up someone's crawl is being on a team. They might go like, I really want to play dwarves,
right,
or something like that.
Right.
And then the people are like, well, I'm already playing dark elves, so you can't play dwarves. And it's like, well, I want to play dwarves. So some people, and like, people might not want to play a bottom tier team. Like, some people just don't enjoy that at all. And finding someone who does and wants to play that might be difficult.
That's why Josh all of a sudden has become MVP for team.
Oh yeah, yeah, everyone's just like, yeah, we got to get that guy because he'll win the stunty division for us, and then we just got to worry about 2 others.
Well, I will be at that point, hopefully playing my year of flings. It starts when I get my team, so there's a good chance that I'll be playing flings, and if I end up playing or being part of a team and not having to, I don't know. Whatever ends up happening, if I end up playing and being a part of a team, I'll be playing flings anyway. So this does not faze me. And when we had our Team Form Oracle Cup, Florida, it was me, Pat Wynn, Chris Steinbacher from up in PA, and Corey Coltrane from the Virginia area. Patrick was our Tier D. He was our bottom tier coach, and he played vampires, and he had a fucking good shit of a time. I mean, he's that kind of guy where he doesn't, he's going to have fun playing no matter what. And it was funny because a whole conversation erupted on the Jacksonville Facebook group, their Blood Bowl group, about playing on the bottom tables. And I have to agree in a sense, like it is a different feeling. Like I think the best tournament that I've ever played in, standings wise, I went to Zeech's Challenge in New York. My buddy Mark Zuckerman, and I was doing really well in that tournament, and I was on top table at one point, and I went undefeated up until my last match. I had a very good chance of winning the tournament, and this going into the second day, I felt that stress, and it wasn't a good feeling. Like I wanted to win. Who doesn't want to win? But I am not an ultra competitive person. But when you're already that far, like you got 3 wins on your first day, and you're thinking, shit, I have a chance. It changes everything. Like I was no longer like I was having fun, but not the way I usually do. So I know exactly what they were saying when they were saying like, there should be a T-shirt saying we have more fun on the bottom tables. It's true. Like Jason said in his poem, he played 6 matches and he did not give a fuck. He had fun playing, losing 6 matches. I don't know. I feel like there's just a certain level of stress when you're always shooting for top table.
Yeah,
and that's not me. Like John enjoys it. Chris enjoys it. Obviously, Cody enjoys it. Obviously, that's not me. Never has been. I don't know if it ever will be.
just try dumb shit. That's what I say.
Yep. That's a lot of fun. Like running all your orc team into the portals in Dungeon Bowl. I don't think Benji lost a single. I think he lost 1 player. But it was a lot of fun.
Occasionally, 90% of the time it doesn't work, but the 10% of the time it does, it's amazing.
And it gives you a fantastic story.
Yeah, didn't Nick Phillips have 2 holy fuck moments at Crucible where he took Hail Mary pass and it worked both times? I think he scored two touchdowns from Hail Mary passes, some with bullshit.
I know he scored 1 against you and I in the team tournament.
Nick Black played him and he had 1, scored nothing but touchdowns off Hail Mary. His team was built for that, but yeah, I'm talking those damn frogs.
Yep.
Yep. The first time I played Slan, and I've told the story about a bazillion times, so if you're sick of it, I get it. But the first time I played against Slan, had any kind of exposure to Slan, was at a Moracle Cup, and I was playing against Tristan McCarricher, and he was one of the best Slan coaches. And not only that, but he had that fucked up pitch from FF Fields that was a mind fuck, and then he had homemade Slan players with googly eyes. Those wire, I have pictures of them because it was just something I never. It gave me a headache looking at the pitch and dealing with the miniatures, and then he was really good on top of it. I'm surprised I even scored. I want to say he beat me like 2-1 or 3-1. I'm surprised I even managed to score a touchdown. But yeah, he was really good with Slan. And like when I told him I was playing Slan in sevens, he's like, "Do not do it." He's like, "They are not made for that. Don't do it. You're going to get broken. It's going to be awful." And I played against Josh's Nurgle team, and that's when he gave everybody fucking tentacles. And I was like, I could not do jack or shit with the Slan. I failed leaps. I couldn't do anything. I was pwned from the very beginning. Is that the expression? Is that what the cool kids say? They were pwned?
That's true. When I was playing at Street Brawl, and Eric had me bent over, and I was playing humans because I do. And I had one of my blitzers, like, he was pinned in against the wall. He dodged into 2 tackle zones, dodged out of that, ran across the field, blitzed the ball carrier that was on the other side of the field, knocked him over on a 1-die block, picked up the ball, and then ran it, like, almost into the touchdown. Like, freight trained his entire team. And I was like, yep. And I had pro, because I took all pro with my team. So that helped. But, yeah, occasionally you get lucky.
Josh just dumped a bunch of photos in the chat, and apparently he's painting a bear. Looks awesome.
Isn't he doing Year of Bears?
I have no idea what he's doing, but this figure that he painted looks really cool. And he also just told me that the Bloody Valentine's 2 rules have been approved by the NAF, which is good. So basically, he took Alan's rule set and refined it a little bit, which is good.
All right, well, that's good. Because I think it was just, what, a chainsaw?
Special rules for the
No,
Bloody Valentine's was the rock.
Yeah, if you stall intentionally, you get a rock thrown at you,
which is awesome. I already can tell you what's going to happen at that event. Howard's going to play Smurfs, and I'm gonna have to play him and crush him. That's what's going to happen.
Nice.
Fucking Smurfs. Why couldn't somebody out of Florida buy that team?
You knew that wasn't going to happen.
No, I did. I know. I figured it would be Ken Parks. But Howard, of all people,
I thought Ken would have been the odds-on favorite for me too. But, you know, Howard's going big.
Ken scooped up a lot of stuff went local. A lot of the teams that Allen had, Ken scooped up his Skaven team, and that's the team I played against at Dunwich Horror. And it's a nice-looking team. And then he also scooped up Allen's Ogres, which I really like too, because they were a unique ogre team. I forget what miniature company did the ogres, but they were really cool. Howard ended up picking up his vampires. Benji picked up his dwarf team. Trying to think of what I know there was. And those are just the painted teams. Will picked up his Chaos Pack team that he's using in the next season of your Jacksonville Blood Bowl League.
Yep.
Jared picked up the Lizardmen team. I dropped off the Succubus team to Frank tonight at Home Depot. He met me there. And I gave him Paul's Best Defense Award, too.
That guy only plays Dwarf. No wonder he had Best Defense, man.
Yes, he really does. I don't think I've ever seen him play another team. Well, I'm trying to think of what he played at Stunty Slam.
Yeah, he did Stunty Slam. Did he do half?
It was all Stunty. I don't know. I can't see him playing Goblins
with no doors.
I bet you he played halflings because I can't imagine him playing goblins or. No, maybe he played goblin. I don't think he played ogres.
No, I don't think he played ogres either. I don't know. That whole tournament is just one big black and blue in my head.
Sorry.
I'm never playing halflings again. Screw those
black
things.
and blue eyes, and everybody had swamp ass.
Yep.
It was, oh, God, I'm already breaking out another sweat. I'm sitting outside. That was rough. Well, it's already getting to that time, so let's talk about just what we got lined up for 2019, and I guess we'll call it an evening.
Okay.
So we talked extensively about the Three Kingdoms Challenge in March. It's a 2-day tournament in Tampa. Kicking off the year in January, we have Voorhees Carnivian, Dr. Carnivian's, Jason Carter's, Black Bark. What's it, Black Bark Lane?
The house on Black Bark Ridge.
Thank you. I can never think of the name of it. Which it's a whole day affair. I mean, he's running like a pregame event that's not Blood Bowl related, but it's cool. It's like all the set pieces for the event. And he's got like it's a game. It's its own game. So then he has the event later that evening. That's in January. And that's the first Blood Bowl event of the year.
That's an award we forgot to mention because he won most creative.
That's right. Yeah, I knew there are so many other awards. Yes, he did win most creative, and you could easily say that Josh probably would have been a close second because if you saw
Josh was
the Chris Nelson, yeah, if he didn't win that, then he had to be the next runner up because the stuff that he does with green stuff, boy, did that sound shitty. The things that he could do with green stuff and the miniatures that he. If you haven't seen the pictures of the Chris Nelson Florida Man miniature that Ken Parks won at the event, so we had T-shirts done for Florida Man. Josh painted the T-shirt on the miniature, and I don't even understand how he could possibly get the brush strokes to even be able to do that. He made that paintbrush dance, is what he did, like Fantasia.
Yeah, it's impressive on pictures. It's even more impressive in person. That thing's just fantastic.
It is. But yeah, Jason Carter won the most creative, and truth be told, I mean he does. I don't think he knows how to run just like a regular like. All right, I'm just going to do a nuts and bolts, bare minimum, bare naked tournament. Like all of his things are so in depth and so much time and effort and energy and money, and so much goes into it. Like his events are something else. They really are. So his kicks off January. Then something that I've been trying to do for the past year is get Blood Bowl south of like Vero into our scene. And we're finally doing a tournament at Silver Dragon Games in Miami. So Miami, according to Patrick Wynn, used to have some killer coaches back in the day. And it seems as though like Blood Bowl's kind of dried up down there, or maybe it's gone underground. I don't know. But either way, I really haven't smelt it at all. So we finally got a Blood Bowl tournament in Miami, and we're hoping to get a good local turnout. And I think a bunch of our guys are going to be going. I'm going down. Josh is going down. We're going to try and get at least 5 to 10 of our local guys up here to go down. That's also in January towards the end of the month. Correct. February is cleared out.
Those are the two voodoo events also. Those are the only two voodoo events we're going to be doing in January.
Yes. February, it's easy. It's only Allen's and Sin City Sevens, which we're running consecutively. So that'll be Sin right City after.
Sevens going to be voodoo, or is it going to be 4 rounds?
I think so. I think I have it. I wrote the rules as 4 rounds. And I talked to Drop Site, and I said basically we're going to be running from like 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. and they were cool with it.
Cool.
So if we manage to stay on time and finish by 6, which should be doable, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do 4 rounds of sevens from 6 to 11. So yes, that'll be obviously NAF approved already, and it'll be voodoo. They're the only 2 tournaments for February. Yep. We tried to clear out all of February so that we get the best and the most attendance for Allen's tournament, which we're going to have giveaways and auctions, and trying to raise money for his family at that event as well. March, we have the Three Kingdoms Challenge, and I think thus far that's the only thing in March.
Correct. That's the only thing we have in March right now. It is our first super mega premier event.
April, Ken's events. Ken Parks was running his events in February and was gracious enough to move those out to make room for Alan's. So I think Ken is set up in April for his Loser Bowl 2 and his Hookie Bowl Demolition Ogre.
Yes. Yeah, he is April 5th and 6th. That's
That's
probably going to be it for April.
Yeah, I believe so. I can't remember. I know there's something for May. Was it big?
That's the Big Daddy's All-Star Cup, the 2.0 million
right.
build.
That's Clay's event, and that's the biggest team value tournament thus far in Florida. Pro Bowl was under that, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 1.6.
Yeah, when Clay, from what I remember talking to him about it, when he would see all these 2 million Blood Bowl team values coming out in the Spike magazines, he got the idea to basically do that as a tournament. I think that's where he got the concept from. So that's May. June is Inconceivable 2, Count Rugen's Revenge.
Yep.
Then there's a good chance I may not be at that tournament because I promised Mark that if he came to Florida for a tournament, that I would come to Vegas, and his LVO Bowl's in February, and I can't do that. So the only other event would be his Sin City Bowl, which I really want to go to anyway, and that's in June. So as of right now, Josh and I, before Joe announced his Inconceivable 2 going down in June, Josh and I were already making plans to go to Sin City Bowl in Vegas for June. And I certainly don't want to pull any locals away from going to that event, but we were talking like to Eric and a few other people like, hey, you want to go to Vegas with us and play Blood Bowl? So I don't know what's going to happen there, but yeah, Joe's got his in June. I don't think there's anything for July that I know of.
I think Jason Carter's looking to do something in July, but it's to be determined as far as date.
Howard has his Popo
The
taser
Popos
tournament
don't tase me, bro.
in August, I believe.
Oh, what a crazy name.
That's going to be fun, and that's good because I really don't want to go back to Gainesville until like then anyway. That's a long. I don't know. It's weird. It was. I had an easier time driving almost anywhere else this past year, but that trip just seemed like it was fucking forever.
All right. The over/under on that tournament for people going to the hospital is currently at 1.5. Place your bets.
Oh God. And make sure you have good insurance before you attend that tournament.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. We're going to see if we can make it 2 tournaments in a row in Gainesville.
Oh God. So there's that for August. September, I want to say there was something in September.
That's your Friday the 13th Graveyard Cup.
Oh yeah. Then October is going to be the Crucible weekend again with 2 events.
Yep.
Street Bowl 3, which show enough.
Show enough.
And then
Enough is the mascot this year.
I think it's got to be. I think you should get an afro, like a giant fro, and wear it at the event. And your chain, like your junkyard dog chain.
Damn straight. It's called a smart.
Damn straight.
I'm totally bringing that chain back there this next year.
I gotta find my chain. I had one from winning second place at the first one.
Paul Fixel.
Yeah, Paul Fixel. Damn dwarf. Beat me by 1 casualty. I would have won that with vampires. Anyway, let's see. So that's October's Crucible again. And then November, I don't know. That's a long fucking way away. And
Nothing's
December,
planned currently for November and December, but I've heard through the grapevine that Clay is planning on doing an Ancient City Barrel Bash again. And I'm hopeful to also do the Dungeon Bowl again second weekend of December, but I mean that's almost a year out. I haven't put it out there yet. I'm just going to sit back and relax from this last one.
As you should, man. You did a lot of shit. So, but even if that's the case, I mean that's a pretty solid year. And then who knows what else will pop up?
Yeah, we still got enough room for at least one more event in most months since we're wanting to limit it to 2 a month.
Yep. Yeah, and that'll put it probably just under 30 events for the year, which is probably good.
Yeah, I think if we
Exactly.
stay around 25 to 30, it's a good year. It's a nice reduction.
Yeah.
Well, anybody else want to add or talk about before we put this one in the books? Number 10.
I got nothing. It's been a heck of a year.
It has been a heck of a year. I'm very proud of everything we've accomplished this year. I was thinking about it today. Like it was more than just the 40 events. There was 2 other things that I was thinking like were big milestones. I can't remember what they were though, but one of them obviously was the 40 events. But we had a huge contingent go to Chaos Cup. We had 7 coaches go to Chaos Cup this year?
No, you guys had more than that. You had 6 riding up in the van by itself, and then I think you went up by plane, Magnus went up by plane,
and Pat
didn't. Pat, yeah. So I think you guys had 9.
Yeah, that was a Florida.
That sounds about right.
Too. That was like 41.
What else? I don't know. My brain's getting tired. There were a couple things, but I can't remember what they were. Oh, the charity events. I mean, Jason. So we did a charity event for 2 of our own. Josh did Knuffles Wild 2 for Mickey. We didn't do a charity event, but we did a lot of charity work for Alan, obviously. And Jason Carter did his charity event for the Crazy Charlie to benefit the.
I think it's Buddies Through Bullies.
That's right, for the dogs, which was amazing. I can't remember how much money he raised, but I know that they were very appreciative and they were very happy that we did that. So I think that might be another thing that we'll look at. I mean, for next year. I mean, we'll have the one for Alan for his tournament, but I like the idea of Florida Blood Bowl like publicly doing a charity event for something, like, and I would love for it to be like for something bigger. Like I love that Nate does the ACCC Atlantic Coast Charity Cup, and I want to say the recipients are organizations like the Wounded Warrior Project and things like that. Jamie Fisher up in Pennsylvania does the God, what the hell is the tournament? It sucks that my memory's so bad. But he does a charity event, and that benefits.
The breast one?
No, that was Will's in Virginia. He does the Bosom Bowl for breast cancer stuff. This is the benefit that Jamie runs up there is for a children's benefit, for like children's cancer research or something like that. It's not St. Jude's, but it's something else. But he's been doing it for that same organization for like the past 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they make it. They raise a lot of money, which is great. So I would like to get behind a Florida-based charity and do that as an annual event. Something on my bucket list that, as if I don't have enough on the bucket list, but it's something to think about. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
I'm sure it'll be something like, oh, we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about that. But I'll have some links to post on the AMA page for this, like one being Jason's poem, which I think he's making the Dr. Carnivian and Rufus, the sports desk. I think he's actually doing the video for that.
Nice.
He mentioned something about not doing, like waiting to do it, but I think he has to do it because that poem was so fucking epic.
Yeah, it was just too good.
All right. Well, then that puts number 10 in the books, and we'll have to do one, come New Year. Maybe we'll do one after Jason's event, or maybe at the end of January after the 2 events. Sum everything up so far for the New Year.
Sounds good.
I agree.
All right, guys. Thanks for spending your time chatting about Florida Blood Bowl.
Sounds good, guys. I will. I'm sure I will see you in the Mosaic Cantina soon enough.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Okay, guys. You've been listening to the #1 voted Voodoo Tournament podcast. The AMA. Mainly because we have no competition.
That's right. Yeah, because there are no other live AMAs out there. They're all podcasts who fix all their errors and everything. We just fucking let it rip like a good part.
Default win.
That's right. And on that note, all right, you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Adios.